2 and 1. Simple question for side opposition. Why do people still cheat or get jealous on your side of the house, and there's still abuses happening on your side? You keep talking about how open relationships will harm individuals. People will never understand what is the concept of love. Well, you never proved to us how all of these will not happen on your side as well. And here's a couple of things why on our side, OG, we should take this debate. Because first of all teams should consider how does the norm affect people in general, and why are all of the points presented by OO is so harmful to the majority of people. So first of all, a couple of clarification, right? What does the norm actually look like? As our Prime Minister has told you very clearly, this is basically just like a norm. People will have like a more open understanding about what relationships looks like, and people will be open and free to explore different types of relationship. And this has boundaries, there are constraints, and there are effective communications in open relationships. And those are some plus points that side opposition has never touched on. So now let's come straight to what we'll do in the speech and a couple of rebuilding and responses, right? RPM talks about a more quality relationships, and we'll dig deeper and explain to you how open relationships will not create exploitation at all in our argumentation. But first of all, a couple of responses for OO. OO talks about how society will accept this as a normal thing, will appreciate it, support it. Well, why is this so bad altogether? Because we have already framed to you that open relationships are relationships where people, they feel respected. They feel like they are being communicated and talked to from their partners, and there won't be any cheatings or any violations happened in open relationship, because that is the reason why the word open is there for, right? And they also talked about how cheating will not be considered as harmful. We already told you that even though we shift the world, open relationship becomes the norm, it doesn't mean that violation will not be under restriction. And you also talk about how love is not just about body contact, but also about commitment and promises. However, in our world, open relationships, they are based on communication. The fact that partners can be honest with each other and we are committed. It's not just about forced exclusivity or just owning another person's lives. And people on our side, they still make promises. They will make promises to support this, to respect that, not to touch another person, or just emotionally care for that person altogether. And in the info slide specifically talks about how an open relationships give people certain constraint and set within the relationship. So effective communication appears on our side of the house, and your side doesn't have this. And we believe that real love is not necessarily proven by restricting someone's freedom. However, it is from when you're able to talk with another person, or your ability to be honest with that person altogether. And a bit of things we want to explain. So for preemption, we believe that, for example, another opposing team might talk about, what if one person will just agree with this commitment just to keep the other partners happy? We believe that this will not happen, and even if it does, in our world, people, they are encouraged to actually say no, because the fact that people are more open than other types of relationship is a plus point in our side of the house. And it's actually easier to say no in our world, because open relationship in our world are actually normalized. They're not pressure, and people understand that more intimate relationship are being accepted. Or if you are queer or in the LGBT community, then you'll be more accepted in our side of the house. So what OG is trying to do is that we're trying to provide a better world where relationships are not forced. They are built on mutual understanding, where jealousy or lack of control will not happen on our side of the house. So coming straight to the thing we want to prove here is that how exploitation will not happen in open relationship, because we have proved to you that exploitation will only happen when a person, they are not honest. They hide information, or just control others, which is the status quo, which is what is happening in traditional relationship on side opposition. People, they are not open to share stories, they're not open to other types of romantic relationships, and that comes to cheating or other types of like misleading information from your partners. It's also important to note that these relationships only work when both partners agree to the terms that they have set out in the first place, right? For example, there will be rules such as like always communicate, use protection, or no attachment to this people or this person or that person. And people, they are no longer shamed, or they will no longer actually feel insecure or being jealous of others, because on our side, communication are the top priorities, and this only happens, and this impact will be only achievable on our side of the house. Moreover, people, they feel free to explore different like connections. This can be emotional, this can be other types, and they also learn more about themselves, because in a relationship where you're only restricted to one person, or when you feel like you don't really have a voice, because like RPMs explicitly told you that it is like the norm in a lot of households, like there'll always be a breadwinner, or there'll always be a person who dominates. And this is what happened in current relationships, where a person who dominates will usually control the other person, or that the other person will not have a voice over their relationship. So on our side, we give people the incentives to explore about themselves without sacrificing love altogether. And this in turn will lead to like greater well-being, like their mental well-being will be more supported, and that is what we want to prove to you in this debate. And overall, what we have proved to you is really simple, right? On OG, we said that open relationship being the norm will actually affect people's lives for the better. And it will, when it comes to communication, when it comes to, desire, people are more satisfied with their lives, with their relationships, and with their partners overall. They will not be controlling over others. And this is what opposition needs to resolve on their side of the house. It will not be exploited, and therefore we win this debate on these kinds of factors. Very proud to propose.